Myself, lately I've been thinking about sort of threats and threat management and then posture and posture management. You talked a little bit about how it can be specific to SaaS or in general, but how you're thinking about like maybe those two kind of buckets of sort of like ongoing monitoring and that kind of thing versus, looking at configs and posture and hygiene and trying to maybe get ahead of, detections.
Sure. I don't think this is actually significantly different than managing a fleet of endpoints. Is my honest assessment. I think that it is two sides of the same coin. Um, and I think just like when we think about managing a fleet of endpoints, right, where we have inventory questions and we have questions about, oh, well, I have a Windows and a Mac fleet. I have this setting and it doesn't apply across the two, and it's a little bit different. We have the same problem, and then you throw Linux in there, and then iOS and Android. We have the same problem in SaaS, right, where different apps are going to think about permissions differently and settings differently and security differently and whatnot. And creating some level of consistency in how different apps are protecting the same types of data is, I think, really, really important. And then second, having the ability to respond to an incident that occurs primarily in SaaS apps is a capability that I don't think a lot of companies have today. But I think is going to become ever more critical as we see more and more sensitive data move into the world of SaaS. Right? Attackers don't aren't going to restrict themselves to just operating in Salesforce or just operating in Workday or just operating in Gmail. They're going to move across everything they can get to, right? And unless we can, just like back in the day before someone like Carbon Black came around and helped popularize sort of the EDR concepts, we had a very siloed view of intrusions. We had a very sort of single endpoint, sort of forensics driven view, and we tried to sort of like spread that, but it wasn't scalable. And I think we're in the same place right now with SaaS apps, where we have a very siloed view. We can look at Salesforce logs or Workday logs or Okta logs. And the honest answer is that you're not going to get a full picture of a breach, just like on endpoints, until you can see across that whole spectrum, until you can see in the context of an endpoint, until you can see the activity happening on the laptop and the server and this other workstation over there, and put that all together. And in the SaaS app concept, you're not going to see it until you can see the Okta and the Salesforce and the Gmail, put that all together in a story that we can tell about these actions. So I think it's I draw very, very strong parallels between the two, and think that it's a capability that more orgs need as they move more and more into the SaaS world.